Here's our easy Korean corn dog recipe without yeast or baking soda that's perfect for beginners at deep frying and working with thick batters. We've added lots of small hacks to ensure your fillings won't fall off the skewer when you're coating it in batter or have any issues with deep frying, two of the most common problems we see. Or, if you prefer a healthier version, we've also included our Korean corn dog air fryer recipe. Here are the Korean corn dog ingredients you'll need. We highly recommend you use a thicker skewer as this helps to stop your fillings from falling off the skewer or breaking off. You can also use wooden chopsticks if they fit in the pot you plan on deep frying in. For the Korean corn dog batter, you'll need to mix the dry ingredients first, then mix in the beaten egg and gradually you'll milk until the batter is smooth. You can use self-raising flour as a substitute, but make sure you take out the baking powder. Some recipes will also suggest using rice flour as a substitute or combining regular flour with rice flour. Now, we don't recommend using rice flour for Korean corn dog as the crust comes out less airy and crunchy. We also don't use yeast in our Korean corn dog recipe, as with yeast, you'll have to wait a while for it to leaven the dough, and most people already have baking powder in their kitchen pantry. Having said that, there are a few disadvantages to using baking powder over yeast. Yeast makes the batter more sticky, so it's easier to wrap the batter around the skewered fillings later on, while with baking powder, the batter doesn't stick to the filling as much. Yeast also adds a little acidity and a subtle sourness to the batter, which might be to your preferred taste. We've also seen some other recipes just use a normal pancake mix, but again, we don't recommend this because the pancake mix tends to be runny and won't stick to the skewered fillings. There's a chance that some pancake mix might work, but generally we suggest you don't use pancake mix due to the high risk of it not working. Your Korean corn dog batter should end up thick and quite sticky. Set this aside on a flat plate. Make sure to like this video if you like hearing about why we recommend certain ingredients over others in our recipes. The most common Korean hot dog filling is sausages with mozzarella cheese or entirely made of one. If you want to make a vegan or veg Korean corn dog, we suggest making one with cooked rice cakes or just out of mozzarella cheese. But you can also put other things inside like fish cakes, potatoes, chicken sausages, beef sausages instead. We're using some chicken sausages to make our Korean corn dog recipe halal. Depending on what you like, you can choose a mix. If you love a good cheese pull, we recommend putting a larger cheese piece at the top of the skewer. We also recommend adding a small piece of sausage at the top of the skewers for beginners. This will help to ensure the filling doesn't come off when you're rolling it in the batter later on. Or, if you like each bite to be a bit more balanced, you can make smaller pieces and skewer them one after the other. It's also a good way to get rid of any leftovers. To prepare for frying, you want to heat the oil up to 160 to 170 degrees Celsius. There should be enough oil for the skewers to be able to submerge in the oil. Next up, you want to prepare your dry mix to roll in. Fill a plate or tray with panko breadcrumbs. You can also add other toppings like potatoes, crushed ramen, and cornflakes to another plate if you like. Have your batter and skewers close to this for the next step. Hold your Korean corn dog skewer firmly in one hand and a chopstick in another. Using the chopstick, gently scoop up some batter from the plate and wrap it around your skewer. Repeat this until the skewer is evenly covered. You've probably seen other methods like dunking the entire skewer into a glass of batter and pulling it out or rolling it in the wet batter. We don't recommend either of these methods for beginners as there's more risk of the softer fillings like mozzarella falling off or breaking off the skewer as the batter sticks to them. Once it's evenly covered, you'll then want to roll the battered skewer over the Korean corn dog's topping quickly and then swiftly cover it with the panko next. When you're adding the panko, make sure to cover any gaps of the batter that aren't covered by the additional toppings of your choice. Don't be afraid to gently press down on the panko to ensure it sticks to the batter. One thing you should be careful of is that the toppings like potatoes are much heavier than panko and will pull down the batter more quickly, so you need to be firm and quick with every motion. It does require a bit of skill to get to a nice shape. You'll get the hang of it. Once you've got your battered Korean corn dogs ready and you've got the right oil temperature, you can now lower your skewers inside the pot to fry. For the first minute, spoon over some of the oil on the part of the skewer that's floating above the hot oil. This will help you get a more even golden brown crust. After 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, flip it over to deep fry on the other side. Once it turns golden brown, take it out and let it cool. Then add a sprinkle of sugar. You can also skip the sugar dusting if you want, but it does add more sweetness and a nice texture. For condiments, we're adding ketchup and mustard diagonally for a nice pattern, but you can also try other combinations like mayo and sriracha. If you're looking for a healthier version of our Korean corn dog recipe, try making it in an air fryer. Now, while our air fryer Korean corn dog recipe does use less oil, it's not as crunchy as the deep fried version we've just shown you. The batter doesn't taste as light and crunchy as we do need to use a thicker batter for it to work in the air fryer. You can also visibly see that the colour isn't as golden brown and the overall shape is flatter as there's no oil to suspend the skewers in. It still tastes good, but definitely do keep these points in mind if you're going to try it out. Here are the ingredients you'll need to make a Korean corn dog in an air fryer. Mix your batter ingredients together, then preheat your air fryer to a temperature of 180 degrees. Once you have prepared your skewers and covered it with batter, toppings and panko, immediately place it into the air fryer. Let it air fry for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, add some oil over the skewers. Continue to air fry for another 5 minutes. Then, flip over your Korean corn dog, add more oil and fry it for 5 minutes. This should take a total of 15 minutes to air fry. Then, finish off by topping the dish with sugar and sauces before serving. Let us know in the comments below if you tried this air fryer version out and how it went for you. Time for a taste test of our Korean corn dogs. For the deep fried version, the regular Korean corn dog with just panko is already pretty crispy. However, adding the toppings will provide a new layer of texture that makes eating it so much more satisfying. Potatoes add chunkier bites, whilst crunch ramen adds a granule-like crunchiness. You can also try other toppings like cornflakes and even hot Cheetos. If you liked our recipe, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more.